Welcome to Australian Immigration News. This program is proudly brought to you by Australian Immigration Law Services, located right here in Sydney. Last week we brought you the story about Bronson, a 4-year-old Australian citizen too young to understand the heartache his temporary resident father Daryl is going through to try and stay here to raise him. These stories are designed to highlight the fact that many of our Australian citizen children have no rights to keep their family in Australia with them. Some children have ended up being forced to leave with their parents, taken from the only home they know, often to a foreign country where they cannot even read or write the language. If this is what it means to be an Australian citizen, then perhaps we should all take a good look at what values we want to ensure to protect our most vulnerable members and respect their wishes to remain and continue their lives here in Australia. Tonight we want you to meet Arush. He's an Australian citizen and nearly 12 years old. He's in distress because he's trapped in Nepal and cannot get home. He's been stuck there for 3 months, taken from his home and his schooling in Australia by his temporary resident parents who had no options but to leave Australia. He's in a foreign country on an Australian passport and holds a Nepalese visitor visa, and he does not read or write Nepalese and refuses to go to school. The family asked for the immigration minister's help so they would not have to leave Australia. They knew all the family's circumstances but offered no assistance. They ignored the family's pleas to let them stay in Australia so Arush could continue his life here. Arush wants to come home. It's the only home he has ever known. He is still enrolled in his school in Tasmania, and the family have kept their house there with the hope that at least one of them can come back and get Arush back into school. The school has also sent a letter reminding the family the importance of getting Arush back into class as soon as possible. Arush's father applied for a visitor visa recently so he could bring his son back to school, but despite knowing all of these circumstances, the immigration department refused him the visitor visa. So Arush is trapped there, and very few people care about him and his family. He's been abandoned by his own government, who has not only demonstrated they do not care less, they have actively made decisions to make sure that he cannot come back. So is this what it means to be an Australian citizen? I certainly hope not. A circumstance like this is created by a heartless immigration department, and it's too unimaginable to believe. I spoke to the family recently, Sunita his mother and Kamal his father, as they wait in Nepal desperately waiting for some good news to come their way. Hi Sunita, how are you going there?
Hi, good. And you?
I'm good, thanks. And Kamal, is he there as well?
Yeah, he's here.
Hi, Kamal.
Hi Kamal, I'm good, thanks. And is Arush there?
It's a bit hard to convince him.
Hi Arush, how are you going there?
Good.
And Sunita and Kamal, thanks so much for agreeing to do this interview tonight. So how is Arush holding up?
Arush is missing his school badly. He's not able to study, and then he doesn't want to go to school here. We tried to put him in the school here as well, but he said that he doesn't want to go to school and he's missing his school a lot.
And you tried to get Arush back into Australia with Kamal, but the department refused Kamal's visitor visa?
We try to get 600 visa. At least one of us can go with Arush, and then at least one of us, at least Arush can continue his study. You know, there is nothing more than that we want to have it.
That's so incredible. It's hard to believe that they actually did that.
And then, but that was been refused as well. It's not good for Arush because he's very frustrating here. He wants to go back to his own country, and he always asks us, "Mama, when I'm going back to my country, you want to continue his study and his daily routine, daily life in Australia. He's missing that so much here." So that's why we came here to talk to you.
Arush, all of this must feel so confusing right now. How are you going?
Not great.
You must be missing all your friends, your school, and of course, your home.
You have to
Yes.
So what do you miss most about Australia?
School. My home. And my living style.
At school, did you get involved in any of the activities?
Yes.
So tell us about those.
What do you do? Activities.
Play soccer.
Which club do you play?
Granoki Knights. And sometimes in school I play basketball with my friends.
Have you tried to go to school in Nepal?
No. It's because I don't really want to go to school because I don't really like it here. And I don't think I'll have good opportunities there.
By the way, do you read and write Nepalese?
He can speak well Nepalese, but with writing, not even a single word he can write, single letter. Can you?
No.
No writing, no reading.
No writing and no reading.
And how long have you been away from school now?
3 months?
Wow, that's a long time. You must miss all your friends back home.
Yes.
You know that your dad tried to get a visitor visa to bring you home, but it was refused.
Yes.
And how did that make you feel?
Sad and upset.
And Kamal, how did you feel when you got the news they would not even give you a visitor visa to bring your son back to school?
And feeling sad. It's pretty much sad thing, he's citizen over there, and we work hard in there, and because I work in health sector, I used to do aged care, disability, and in hospital as well, with the Tasmanian government service, and I'm not worrying about my work, but for his study and other things, his daily life things, I'm just a bit worried. And
it must be so frustrating for you, Kamal, to be at the mercy of these uncaring Immigration Department decisions, and I'm sure many of our viewers would agree with me.
We are ready to wait, but he's so upset in here. We tried to convince him to go to school, but he don't want to go to the school in here. And he said that I don't belong in here, so why should I go in here? Because I'm not going to school for a long time, then I don't need to go over here. Even he said that I can understand and speak in Nepalese, but he said that I can't read and write.
Sunita, I know you and Kamal have applied for the state-sponsored 491 visa and you're waiting for that to be processed. But the processing time now is well over 12 months and Arush cannot afford to stay away from school that long. If you had a chance for the minister to listen to your family, what would you like to tell him?
What we like to say is if a minister can granted our if he can granted our provisional PR, if he can look after our provisional PR.
It's been a rough few months for all of you, and you as your mother, how are you coping?
That makes us feel so sad because they are not considering the Australian citizen child who is minor. It's not about the only Australian citizen who can look after themselves. It's about the child who is minor and who need parents' guidance. And we are not asking for anything else. We're just asking for some visas to be granted before our provisional visa granted, so that he can come and continue his study.
The department clearly is not looking after the best interests of citizens and children like Arush.
They should look after him. That's what I feel.
It is as if they don't even know you're there and they're not prepared to listen.
It's unnoticeable or something. They just don't want to see what is happening.
And I think you've hit the nail right on the head there, Sunita. Sadly, you are the unnoticeables. So, can you believe that? The department refused his father even a visitor visa, knowing Arush needed to get back enrolled into school. They have treated Arush's father like he's some sort of criminal, and at the worst of it, they could not even care less about Australian citizens, leaving Arush stranded, suffering, and have his education completely disrupted. His parents, Sunita and Kamal, are hard workers. Sunita has skill in hospitality management and Kamal has been working in aged care for years. Both their skills are in high demand and they have been sponsored by the Tasmanian government for their 491 visa application. They have jobs and responsibilities as well, but for now, they will just be happy to get Arush back into school. We lodged a complaint about that tourist visa rejection and how the case officer did not even mention Arusha's circumstances, and we got this generic reply. As the issues raised in your feedback relate to an application for a visitor visa and the subsequent decision, your feedback will be forwarded to the appropriate area for their information and consideration. Once a decision has been made on an application, it cannot be reviewed or changed by the department. Of course, we never heard anything again from the department. Thanks to Sanita and Kamal, and of course Arush, for speaking on the program tonight and sharing such a difficult time with us all. We are working hard to try and turn things around for them, so fingers crossed. Next week, we will highlight the plight of another Australian citizen child whose family is being forced into a pathway to stay here, which is neither fair nor realistic. You will find the department's and the Minister's Office actions rather disturbing. So thanks for all of you who have joined us tonight, and if you want to help us in the work that we're doing, you can subscribe to our channel and don't forget to share this video with as many people as you can.